Fire protection has always made a rational but rather ugly bargain. If a room is burning, we accept water, foam, powder, or gas, because all of those are preferable to losing the building. Sonic Fire Tech is asking a more interesting question. What if the first intervention left almost nothing behind? Imagine no flooded kitchen, no discharge cylinder, and no chemical residue. Instead, you get just low-frequency pressure arriving early enough to keep a small ignition from becoming a serious fire. That sounds like science fiction, and visually it is irresistible. You point a machine at a flame, turn on the sound, and the flame folds. But the flame is the easy part of this story. The difficult part is proving that an entire life safety system will detect the right event, deliver enough pressure through a real building, survive a power failure, avoid dangerous blind spots, and work every single time. So the real question is not simply whether sound can disturb fire. It can. The question is whether Sonic Fire Tech can make sound trustworthy. This company did not begin with a firefighter. It began with a planetary power system and a lawyer who knew how to search patents. Geoff Bruder had worked at NASA Glenn on thermo-acoustic systems. These are machines that convert heat, pressure, and sound through carefully tuned resonance. His earlier patent concerned power conversion for extreme environments, including the kind of engineering that might one day operate on Venus. Years later, attorney Michael Thomas was exploring a very different idea, specifically a pressure wave platform for wildfire response. He searched the patent literature, found Bruder's work, and contacted him through LinkedIn. The two founded Sonic Fire Tech in Cleveland in 2019. A lawyer Googled a NASA patent, messaged the inventor, and accidentally started a fire company. LinkedIn has produced worse outcomes. There is an important distinction here. The earlier thermo-acoustic patent belongs to the US government through NASA. Sonic's later fire suppression patents belong to the company's legal entity. The honest phrase is NASA expertise combined with company-owned fire IP, rather than NASA-approved fire protection. That distinction may sound pedantic, but in a life safety business, precision is the brand. The public explanation sometimes says, sound vibrates oxygen away from the flame. That is catchy, but the physics is more interesting. Low-frequency pressure creates oscillating airflow and vortices around the flame. Those disturbances alter the boundary layer where fuel vapor, oxygen, and heat sustain combustion. With the right frequency, pressure, waveform, distance, and fuel geometry, the flame can lose its anchor and blow off. Sonic's installed concept is therefore not one giant speaker. It is a complete system, featuring fast optical detection, control electronics, an efficient resonant generator, a ceiling waveguide, distributed emitters, and backup power. Public descriptions put operation near the infrasonic boundary, around 20 Hz. The crucial word here is early. Academic reviews find acoustics most effective at the incipient stage. Once a solid fuel is deeply heated, the flame can return, because sound provides little cooling. And if a lithium-ion cell has entered internal thermal runaway, sound cannot negotiate with chemistry. Cooling and propagation control are still required. In other words, Sonic is not trying to shout down a mature inferno. Its bet is to interrupt the first few seconds, so the inferno never gets a vote. Sonic has now disclosed $18.5 million in funding. The first $3.5 million came from a seed group led by Khosla Ventures, Third Sphere, and Air Angels. The new $15 million round is led by the Ohio Fund, with Khosla participating again. The tempting story is that investors have financed a louder and more powerful machine. The real spending plan is much less cinematic and much more important. That money goes toward burn rooms, sensors, failure modes, manufacturing discipline, installer training, regulatory submissions, and people who will sign their names beneath a life safety claim. The company has already reached useful milestones. A Los Angeles County 3D printed home included the system as a voluntary protection component. However, the mandated sprinklers remained. That is genuine field traction, not permission to replace sprinklers everywhere. This highlights the difference between a demonstration and a product. A dramatic video proves that one flame disappeared under one set of conditions. A certified system must explain what happens when the room is larger, the door is open, the duct is damaged, the battery is old, the pan is shielded, or the homeowner has not serviced anything since the first season of Succession. The fresh capital is buying those answers. Sonic has very few obvious acoustic rivals, but that does not mean it has very little competition. Its real competitors are the systems already specified by architects, accepted by fire officials, installed by trained contractors, and understood by insurers. Residential sprinklers are an especially serious benchmark. NFPA data show that in reported home fires large enough to activate them, sprinklers operated effectively 93% of the time. When they operated, they controlled the fire in 98% of cases. There are also smarter water systems on the market. The Automus system by Plumas uses targeted water mist, has a UL listing, and arrives with a permitting package for local authorities. Data centers already have residue-free clean agents and low-water mist systems with cooling and full-scale test histories. Wildfire homeowners can buy automated roof and eave systems that use water and foam. So while leaving no residue is attractive, it is not a monopoly. Sonic's sharper promise is reusable and agentless intervention before heat has accumulated, potentially with less infrastructure. One correction matters here. NFPA writes consensus standards, but it does not certify products. The path runs through test and listing bodies, local authorities, trained installers, and underwriters. The hardest moat to copy may not be the sound generator. It may be the queue of people willing to trust it. There are 3 plausible futures for this technology. In the bear case, Sonic becomes trapped in the demonstration stage. Performance might vary too much with fuel, geometry, or airflow. Testing takes longer than expected, and customers still have to install conventional protection. The technology remains clever, but the category never escapes the lab. In the base case, Sonic becomes a premium first line of defense. It protects kitchens, luxury interiors, utility sites, equipment rooms, and other places where an early discharge without water or chemicals has real economic value. Conventional systems remain as backup, while hardware, monitoring, maintenance, and reliability data become the main business. In the bull case, independent testing establishes a repeatable acoustic category. Local approvals turn into listings and code language, and a major insurer offers a measurable credit. Installer and building system partners take the product national. Only then does selective replacement become realistic. The evidence to watch is therefore wonderfully unglamorous. We need to look for a recognized full system protocol, repeat approvals from authorities having jurisdiction, a disclosed installed base, named insurer incentives, and multi-year failure data. Sonic may be selling sound, but the product the market actually needs is confidence. If you enjoyed this look beneath the glamorous headline, please like the video and subscribe to Business Undercurrent. We follow the systems, incentives, and hidden bottlenecks that decide whether ambitious technology becomes a business or merely a very good demo.